The Western Bulldogs' only premiership came in 1954, and before their match with Port Adelaide, they paid tribute to favourite son and coach of that side, Charlie Sutton, who passed away earlier in the week. The Bulldogs went into the bye last week after a 92-point thumping at the hands of the Sydney Swans. They need to rebound quickly against the Power if they're any chance of playing finals football. They made 3 changes, with Liam Jones, Christian Howard and Clay Smith all coming back into the side. Port Adelaide had won 3 games in a row before being totally outclassed by Hawthorn last round. They too are desperate for a win to maintain touch with the top 8. Matt Thomas and Tom Logan both made the trip to Melbourne to take on the Bulldogs.
Cordy and Minson, that opened the door for Cooney. Good backup for Port Adelaide. Jacobs, interesting disposal. They get away with it. 5 for Westhoff. Goes from a jog to a trot and kicks it long to Schultz. Going to be hard for here to manoeuvre around. Lake tries to work the angles and make life difficult for him. Eventually he was able to set himself. Moore versus Liberatore. Moore with a bit more height and body strength takes the mark. And a bit of a Stevie J tactics here, which is becoming so commonplace, and that's why kicks Port's first, scores a level. And here's an important component for them. Jan Syracuse, piercing ball, but well done Dalhousie to keep it bubbling at half forward. Chaplin there first, had to contend with Higgins, which he did pretty comfortably, but the Dogs only need one more good effort and they'll be into the clear into the 50. Dalhousie gives it to Higgins, decides to go it alone. Good decision. Dogs have got 3. More to Higgins. Oh, straight through. It was a good effort the first time, but in the end there was too much to overcome. And now Murphy. Lake. Promising build-up. Boyd. Set sail for full forward. Jones the most likely. Couldn't take it. Follow-up Ruffett. What about that for a manoeuvre? Oh, terrific goal. There's a glimpse into the future for the big man and the Bulldogs. And now here's McCarthy. He's got Broadbent pushing into the pocket on his own. Took an eternity to pick it up, unfortunately. And that's a great kick. It was a really good decision to find Westhoff. Gets a second opportunity. Ruled himself clear. Schultz. He knows how to do it. Just get the ball to Schultz.
What they're doing now is saying, well, Hartlett will back him in to create as much damage as Ryan Griffin.
Well, he was a terrific architect that time. And the ball surging forward, and Broadbent makes sure of it, and they're right back in it again. Hartlett beats him to the punch. Corns. Broadbent.
And that's okay, but in the forward half, you'd reckon somebody would just go to him at a stoppage.
Cross, dishes, Higgins went to the voice on the end of a chance. Syracuse. Murphy intruding into the forward line. Lovely little dance steps, gets it to Jan Syracuse. And the Dogs penetrate with a very important goal. Stewart still getting work done on him. High contact on Even. Brad could have gone to Brett, but he decided instead to just bomb it along to the square. Schultz, oh, it's going to go all the way. You couldn't have predicted that. How did it get through?
If the Bulldogs lower their eyes, the little players, Cooney, Griffin, Higgins are getting out on the lead.
Boyd from the pocket sets them all a bit of a task. Pearce, that's a dangerous kick.
That is the real dangerous kick.
Dalhousie. Finally they put one through. Murphy settles on half back.
That's one way to sort out the mellow, kick it straight on top of it.
Jones got cleaned up. Advantage. Very late call, Dalhousie. Picken needs to work this out. He does the maths with a couple of bounces and then decides to chip it across to the top of the square. And Dixon, that'll suit him perfectly. And the Dogs are off and gone. Picken to half forward. Cassisi. Smith just did the first thing that came into his head, which was to hack it forward. He might get another crack at it. Was trying to get it over to Griffin. Higgins might go his own way. Griffin runs in and Powell drives another one through. And the Dogs out to a 39-point margin.
The Bulldogs made it a day to remember for the Sutton family as they posted a 38-point win. They had plenty of ball winners in Matthew Boyd, Mitch Wallace and Bob Murphy, while new recruit Tory Dixon was at his opportunistic best with 4 goals.
A special day in a lot of ways to the club and played accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Charlie meant everything to the club and to the boys, and he was always down the rooms, win, lose or draw. And it was a special day, and we did it for him.
Losses to Carlton and St Kilda and wins to the Bulldogs and North Melbourne means 8th spot on the ladder has become a lot more interesting.